Hi everyone, welcome again to Discover Your Optimal Health Virtual Book Club. Well, we're coming down to the wire with only 4 chapters left to discuss in the book. Today's chapters are Chapter 13, Discover the Habits of Healthy Eating, and Chapter 14, Discover the Habits of Healthy Motion. These chapters are jam-packed with detailed information. Since there's so much information in these chapters, I'm just going to hit the high points in the video. But I would encourage you to provide any of your thoughts or questions in the comments. Also, feel free to email me if you have any questions about anything in the book. In Chapter 13, Dr. A provides 3 fundamental outcomes associated with healthy eating. First, our caloric intake and caloric outtake needs to match to be a healthy weight and maintain optimal health. Second, we need to predominantly eat foods that optimize body function. And third, we need to avoid most foods that hurt our body's function. Simple, right? Well, simple, but in our current world, it does take some intentionality. Let's look at each of these fundamental outcomes. First, caloric intake and outtake. In this chapter, we'll concentrate on caloric intake, and in Chapter 14, we'll discuss caloric outtake. First, we need to determine where we stand based on our BMI and waist circumference. I provided the criteria on the blog for each area that we'll discuss. If you need to lose weight, there are 2 methods that can be followed. A slower weight loss, which is about 1 pound or so per week, and then a faster weight loss, which is 1 to 2 pounds per week. For slower weight loss, Dr. A recommends reducing your current food intake by 25% with portion control. In addition, he suggests lowering the glycemic index of the food that you eat. There are many details in the book on portion control and lower glycemic index foods. Using this format for weight loss will require intentionality and detailed food planning. For a faster weight loss, the plan can be a little more simple. Dr. A suggests using meal replacements, which are cost-neutral, clinically proven, and effective. He suggests a 5-in-1 plan where you eat every 2 to 3 hours. You partake of 5 meal replacements and 1 whole food meal that you prepare. Based on your BMI, if you need to maintain a healthy weight, Dr. A suggests the following habits to include as habits of healthy eating. Eat breakfast. Eat something every 3 hours. Eat mostly low glycemic foods. Eat lots of fresh fruits and vegetables. And then to use portion control. And use it in the following ratios. Eating approximately 50% of your meal as a low glycemic carbohydrate, 25% a healthy lean protein, and then 25% a healthy fat. If you have a low weight, the best way to gain weight is through an increase of healthy fats, complex carbohydrates, and proteins like nuts. Now, let's look at the second fundamental outcome. Eat food that optimizes body function. Dr. A recommends including the following in your diet: fruits and vegetables, fiber, fish oils, and bioflavonoids or antioxidants. Moving on to the third fundamental outcome, which is to avoid food that hurts your body functions. These are fried and fatty foods, and then foods that are high glycemic foods. Please do review all the specific food information provided in the chapter for all the specifics. There's a lot in there. If we move on to Chapter 14, Dr. A looks at healthy motion and the caloric outtake in the first fundamental outcome that we've just discussed. We can integrate movement with increased general activity and scheduled exercise. Dr. A reminds us that before we increase our activity, we should consult with our physician. Dr. A has developed 2 programs to increase our daily activity. First, there is the NEAT program, or Non-Exercise Activity Thermogenesis. That's a mouthful. This includes passive movement. A lot of this increased activity can be achieved by increasing our steps each day, by parking further away from the store, taking the steps instead of the elevator, and just saying no to machines. Instead, do things manually. See the details in the book as well as in Dr. A's Habits of Health, Chapter 15. The second program that Dr. A developed is EAT, Exercise Activity Thermogenesis. This is scheduled exercise, and there are a lot of details in the book on this exercise, and also in Chapter 16 of Dr. A's Habits of Health. He recommends 30 minutes of scheduled activity per day. Our last two chapters of the book look at two areas that I don't think we all think about when we consider increasing our health, but are really important. Next time we'll be discussing Chapter 15, Discover the Habits of Healthy Sleep, and Chapter 16, Discover the Habits of a Healthy Mind. It was great sharing with you today. Have a great, healthy week.